purpose of this little video today is to take you through some steps that will help you in long-range target shooting when you are setting up a new scope. And to do this, I use the Athlon 8-34 BRT Riflescope here, which has proved to be pretty damn good. It's not a high-end scope by any stretch of the imagination in the Athlon range, but it has proved pretty good so far. So the steps we'll take you through will be working out a specific loads drop, knowing the muzzle velocity and the height of the scope above the bore, which in this case is 2 inches. We're looking at trying to get our come up figures in minutes of angle for 400 metres from a 100 metre zero. Well, to do that we have to make a specific zeroing target, and I'll take you through the steps to do that by calculating the distance that we need to come up in inches on that target. Okay. Then at the range we'll establish our 100 metre zero on the aiming mark of the target. Then we'll dial in the MOA rise that we've calculated on the Infinity program onto the scope, onto the elevation turret of the scope. Then we'll shoot the result of that dial up, and then we'll retrieve the target and compare the actual rise on target in inches to the correct minute of angle, or in some cases people may be using mil scopes, rise on the target. Then after that, if there is any variation or any discernible variation, we can apply a true MOA figure in a percentage factor to be used with that scope, so that we know when we dial in 20 clicks we get a predictable rise on our target. To get an accurate elevation adjustment for ranges beyond your 100 metre zero, you need a ballistic program or table. I use Sierra's Infinity 6 program, and for 400 metres with my particular load, the elevation correction is 9.2 minutes of angle. Now we need to apply on a target to be shot at 100 metres what the metres to yards factor is, and it is 1.094 yards per metre. Then we need to apply the minute of angle factor to the calculation. Now 1 minute of angle at 100 yards subtends 1.047 inches. Now using my 175 grain 308 loading with a 2-inch scope height, the elevation correction from 100 to 400 metres is 9.2 minutes of angle. You apply this to your scope's turret. Then we multiply the minute of angle scope correction by the minute of angle inch factor of 1.047 inches, making 9.63 inches above point of aim at 100 yards. But that's not the end of it. We then multiply the product of the minute of angle correction and 1.047 inch factor, 9.63 inches, by the metres to yards factor of 1.094 to get our distance on target, which equals 10.54 inches. Now we go to making our zero target. Right guys, so now seeing that we've established that for our 400 metre come up from a 100 metre zero, we need to be able to print on a 100 metre target at 10.5 inches high, or 10.54 inches high. We've got to make a target that's suitable for that. So an A3 sheet is sufficient. What we do is mark the dead centre of the paper at a point probably a quarter of the way up an A3 sheet, and halfway across that paper is that mark that I've made just here. Alright, so we'll call that our aiming mark, right there. And having measured the exact same distance in from both sides on the top, we then draw a line all the way up there. All the way up. Now the purpose of doing this is to see that when you adjust your scope 10.5 inches at 100 metres or 9.2 minutes of angle, that it actually prints at 10.5 inches high. If it does, then your MOA corrections are spot on. Okay, so what we do, we measure up to 10.5 inches, put a cross line there, and with a bit of luck, your bullets that have been zeroed on that aiming mark at 100 metres, when 9.2 minutes of angle is applied, shooting at 100 metres, for you to get to 400 metres, you will print 10.5 inches high. Also, it emphasised that it's important to get the target absolutely vertical down at the target end so that you don't have any deviation to the side. Same with canting your rifle or setting up your scope so that it is actually, the vertical crosshair is actually vertical when you're shooting. Well, g'day shooters, I'm here at Anzac today and I'm shooting my old 100-year-old M17 target rifle. It's in 308 and it's pretty accurate, shooting some Nosler, whoa, bit of a breeze, shooting some Nosler 175 grain custom competition bullets, roughly similar to Sierra 175s in 308, with a 43 grain load of 2208 behind it, and it's proved pretty good in every rifle I've used. But the big news today is I'm using the Vanguard Steady Aim in an effort to soak up recoil while I'm shooting. It seems to be able to put each shot on top of each other. I've also got this beautiful Athlon scope. It's actually not one of their more expensive models, but it's got a great power range from 8 to 34. And I'm looking up there through this mirage, and I've put two shots on top of each other, and one I've pulled about 3/4 of an inch out to the right in an effort to get a zero for 100 metres. And then once I've done that, I'll wind it up 10.5 minutes. Hopefully that'll give me my zero for a 400 metre match coming up. Anyway, I'll put one more shot down now and see how we go. And you can see both outfits in action. Well, the vibration just knocked this off. Not a critical part to the whole setup, but anyway, it's a little bit loose there. I think I might use an Odine solution of gaffer tape or blue tack there if I want to keep that on. But that shot went about half an inch above the rest of the three shots that I've shot. I'm quite happy with that. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'll just go on now with resetting the zero on this just by use of an Allen key, so it's zeroed for 100 metres, and then I'll just put it up to 10.5 and see where it prints on the target. Right, shooters, well, I've wound up 9.2 minutes of angle from my 100 metre zero. I've got a bit of wind from the left, so I should be right for zero for windage, and we'll have a go. And what I'll do is I'll shoot one off the Steady Aim, and I'll go to my normal bag setup and shoot two more of that, see where they fall. That's not bad. It's still tracking the same vintage, and I've gone up and I'm about half an inch below the marker I made for 9.2 minutes of angle, 10.5 inches, which I calculated when I made the target. Right, here we go, another two shots on my normal rested setup, which is just a sandbag at the front on a tripod and a little rear bag, ear bag. So let's see how we go, putting the other two close to the first one shot on the steady rest. is right on at 10.5 inches high, so I could be confident applying minute of angle corrections on that scope and get actual minute of angle on the ground. So that's a good indication of the Athlon scope's quality. The half-inch move in MPI and windage, which I applied, translates up here. Well, it's actually about 0.6 of an inch. So I'm really happy with that result. It went as well as could be expected. So congratulations, Athlon, and we'll progress.